Hey Geeks, and welcome to the GEEKSIDERS show. My name is Josh.
And I'm Anna. Tonight we're going to be reviewing Dark Matter, Wynonna Earp, Doctor Who, and Orphan Black.
But first, we have a really quick unboxing to do. We are unboxing Firefly Cargo Crate from Loot Crate. This has been sitting to the side, just waiting to be unboxed for a few days now, and we have a very terrible kitty cat right here just off camera. She's being awful tonight.
Yes, she is.
But adorable. But, okay, here we go. Firefly Cargo Crate. And we got a t-shirt. Oh, it's the octopus from the commercial that activated River, only it's a different take on it. Oh. It's all zeros and ones. That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's a neat little idea. It's in binary, the picture. Little loose thread. Ooh, shit.
Lots of loose threads.
Lots of loose threads that are like still connected, so if I pull it, it's going to unravel. I'll have to snip those off.
Snip them.
Did you say sniff?
I meant to say snip.
Here we go.
You ever had to sniff them? No, it didn't work.
No.
We should probably try snipping them.
Yes. All right, see what else do we have?
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Speaking of the little octopus, we have a little pin here with the octopus and the dancing blue ladies.
The commercial. Which,
from the commercial,
fun fact, I listened to, I forget what it was, and they said that commercial that they used in the movie, Serenity, was like actually a commercial. They just found the weirdest commercial they could, and that's what they used in the films. That's kind of funny,
Nice.
All right, we also got a little cubit, a little Firefly cubit. Let's see who we got. I love the cubits. They're so adorable. Oh, it's Kaylee in her dress from Shindig. That's awesome. I love it.
We just watched that episode not terribly long ago.
It's been a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
With our Firefly Friday videos that we were doing. And that we'll get back to once again once the Sci-Fi Friday shows go on hiatus. Which they just started again, so it's going to be a while. But, oh, that's really cool. Look how textured not textured, but layered the dress is. That's really cool. I like that one. All right. Let's see. We'll do that thing last. What else did we get?
What is this? It's an inflatable Reaver axe.
Oh, it's... Oh, okay. That's cool.
You blow it up. Oh, my gosh. It's so many pieces.
Oh, it's... Oh, man. Oh, we're blowing it up.
Well, you're blowing it up and it's going to take forever. Let me move on to the next bit. So we have the book that comes with it. We have a Miranda sticker that'll go on his computer at work. And we have the interplanetary flashcards. And this one is for Miranda. And it gives some details on Miranda.
And Miranda is where the Reavers were kind of born. This is freaking cool. If you ever want to cosplay River, you have an inflatable Reaver axe.
Because
that would be hilarious. This is awesome.
God.
I love this. Is like my favorite thing now. All right, and our little damn hero this month is River. Let's open her up and see. The little damn heroes, the sculpts on these is amazing.
Yeah. Get us some room here.
Yeah.
I'll let you handle that.
Sorry if the styrofoam squeaks.
Squeaky.
Squeaky styrofoam.
Our cat is totally checking out the Reaver axe.
Yes.
She is giving it the sniff over. A dancing river. Yeah. Oh, that's so cute.
This would be from the episode after Shindig, which we haven't watched for our schedule yet. I think it's titled Safe. It's the one where they're on the planet and they're shopping, and River, she comes across this like little party, and they're playing music, and she starts dancing, and she's happy for the first time in forever, and Simon's watching her, and then they get kidnapped. Spoiler alert. But that's really great.
Yeah.
It's a reasonably good sculpt. It looks.
It is. It looks quite a bit like her.
Yeah, it looks quite a bit like Summer Glau. All right. And that's all for our unboxing this week. Let's move on to the reviews. First up, Dark Matter, the Season 3 premiere of Dark Matter. This was a 2-part premiere.
The first episode was called Being Better is So Much Harder, and the second episode was It Doesn't Have to Be Like This.
So Season 3 picks up exactly where Season 2 left off, which is awesome. I hate time jumps.
Yeah, and not only that, it left on such a huge cliffhanger, like, who survived, who didn't, that if they didn't, I would have been really mad. I'd be like, are you kidding? We just had this long hiatus and you're not going to jump right in?
And, and they could have done a time jump and have everybody off on their own, and like they've been off on their own for a while. It could have done it, and it could have worked. But I'm really glad it started right where the finale left off last season. And, oh my gosh, I loved these 2 episodes, especially the first one.
Yeah.
I really loved the first one because it had this fantastic scene where the Ferris Corp goons, they board the Raza, and they're like, they're being hurt, like they don't realize they're being herded, but they're being herded into the bay, into the cargo hold. And like, first of all, 5 with the giant-ass gun.
Yes, 5 with her giant gun. Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
And then Truffaut was holding her own, which was really cool because we weren't really sure how capable she was or wasn't. But they herd the Ferris Corp goons into the cargo hold where awaits
Android with 2 guns, and she just pops up and kills everybody.
She pops up out of this crate like she's, a dancer popping out of a birthday cake, and she's like, and it was awesome. And what was great about that scene and why it was so funny is because the guy had just said, we'll wait here and ambush them, and then she's like, yoink! And it was hilarious and awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
And then she holds the guns up and she sniffs them. Not she sniffs them. She blows the smoke. I was thinking she was going to sniff it like Deadpool. I thought that would have been really funny.
And in the finale, Nyx dies, and it's just, bam, she's dead. But in this episode, in episode 1, they kind of bring her back during 2's auction and deprivation, and like 2 gets to say goodbye to Nyx, and then us as the fans, like, we get to say goodbye to Nyx.
In fact, I was kind of on the fence about whether or not Nyx was actually dead. And then when that gets confirmed, you're like, oh man, well, she is dead, but we didn't get to say goodbye. We kind of did there.
Yeah,
and that was really nice. I like that.
Yeah.
And then there was 3 who was on the planet with Anders, and they kind of had to fight off this security drone, and it seemed like 3 might have gotten through to Anders.
Yeah, it does.
They might have an inside ally now. So that would be really, really cool, and something that, I hope Anders turns good. I hope he sides with the Raza crew, because the more we've gotten to know him over the past few seasons, I like him a lot more now. I also want to mention 6 in this episode. 6 and 2 spent most of the episode on the Marauder, and he apologized again for betraying them. And it seems like everybody else is kind of moving on from that except for 6. His guilt is still there. And he's like everybody else has let it go. The people he betrayed, they're kind of okay with him now, but he's not forgiven himself yet. Yeah. And that's going to be some really interesting development for 6, I think.
And then the episode ends with a dun 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 moment that totally went over our heads because we suck at recognizing people, and so we just didn't recognize who it was on screen.
Yeah.
Afterwards, when we looked it up and after Joe chided us for it, it's Sarah, which was 3's girlfriend, who died. Yeah. And that's who 5 chats with or sees when she puts the memory thing on.
Yeah. And with the memory thing, this is moving into the second episode of the 2-part now. Using the digital memory device and the memory dive thing, that's messing her up now. She's passing out, she's going back into her memories, and it could get to the point where it's so bad that she just never wakes up from it.
Yeah.
Which is really awful, because she finds out near the end of the episode that she has a sister, but she doesn't know her name or anything, and she can't access those memories anymore. Yeah. So I have a feeling that that's going to be this ongoing arc for 5 in this season, where she is going to use the memory device again and try to go back into those memories, and it's going to mess with her again. But, oh man, you got to really feel for 5. Yeah. She just found out she had a sister.
Part 2 felt very much like a Star Trek episode, which I loved with the tachyon beam and that white nothingness place. Like, it just felt very Star Trek. So I geeked out totally for that.
Yeah, and I think there was a Next Generation episode where they were in this nothing place. In fact, I think it was in season 1, and it was the first time we met the Traveler. I think that was the episode. And oh my gosh, just the kind of parallels there. As Star Trek fans, as Trekkies, we see that and go, oh man, that's Star Trek. And that was really, really cool. So there was basically 4 major events in this episode. First, Five finds out she has a sister. Second, she finds out she can't go into the digital memory dive anymore.
Third, Rio learns that Misaki killed Nyx.
And he took it way better than I thought he would.
Yeah, he did.
Like he was pissed and he held her at knife point, but I thought it would go way worse for her.
Yeah.
And 4, the crew got the blink drive back. One of the things that I love about Dark Matter is we get all these questions and mysteries that need to get solved. Like, okay, first of all, Rio stole the blink drive in the finale last season. They get it back in the second half of the premiere this season. All these things happen and they get resolved reasonably quickly, so the story is kind of perpetually in motion. It's never stagnant.
And every time something gets solved, something else happens. So, like, they got the blink drive back, but now they can't use it because the scientists messed with it and they don't trust it yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, you resolved that problem, but now we got another problem.
Right. And that just keeps the story moving. And so many shows, when we get a question, we don't get the answer to it for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And that can get really, really frustrating. And Dark Matter, you get a question, you get the answer pretty fast. And I love that. Next up, we have Wynonna Earp, the season 2 premiere of Wynonna Earp, titled Steel Bars and Stone Walls.
So Waverly totally stole the show for this entire episode with the demon thing going on and the Scotland Yard impression. Oh my god, she killed me in this episode.
Waverly is probably, I think, the most developed character in the entire show.
Yeah.
And given that this show's called Wynonna Earp, I think that's actually a disadvantage. I love Waverly. She's my favorite character. I think when Wynonna in this episode, particularly, it bugged me because she was basically just a quip machine. And then the occasional demon kill.
Yeah, I feel like they need to develop her more. She feels like the same character from episode 1 of the premiere of this show.
And the actor who plays Wynonna is doing a fantastic job with what she's given. I think she can handle way more than what they're giving her, though.
Yeah.
She's got the chops. They need to trust her. Also, I think there was way too little of Dolls in this episode. And Dolls is not one of my favorite characters, but I think he's an important enough character that he needed more screen time.
Yeah, he basically wasn't in this episode.
He had a couple of minutes, but that was it. And he did pop up back at, like, he was able to escape the Black Badge, and he popped up at the very end of the episode, and we know that he's okay. So that's fine. Hopefully we get much more of him throughout the rest of this season, because his story seems like it's really important.
Yeah.
With he's some kind of
like,
hybrid something.
Hybrid something, yeah.
Like, I thought they were going to reveal that in this episode, and they didn't really. He's got, like, the cat eyes whenever he starts to turn. I'm like, ooh, man, is he a were-tiger? That would be awesome! But we don't know. Then, like we said, Waverly is by far, I think, the most developed character, followed by Dolls. And they need to fix that. Wynonna needs some development.
Yeah.
Moving on to Doctor Who, Series 10, Episode 9, titled Empress of Mars. Now, the Ice Warriors, who were the monster of the week this week, they're not my favorite Doctor Who monster. But despite that, I think this episode worked really well, and it was because of the character Colonel Godsaker. He had a really interesting story, and for what seems like a one-off character, he got a ton of development. And even though I don't care for the Ice Warriors, the character of Empress Araxa was really, really cool. I do hope we get to see her again.
Yeah, she was really cool, and she looked really cool too. Like,
yeah.
I like how she had, like, almost like Predator hair, but it was shiny.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And she, like, developed this kind of friendship a little bit with Bill, and that was kind of neat.
Yeah, like, what I like is that the implication through the entire episode is that females rule this society, because all the men were talking, and she was like, shut up and let me talk to the only other female in here. Y'all are just yammering. Let me talk to somebody intelligent.
But the single biggest and most important moment from this episode is when Nardal freed Missy and they went back to Mars to pick up the Doctor and Bill, and Missy's there, and she looks at the Doctor and she's like, "Are you okay?" Which reminds me of way back when the 10th Doctor was talking to Harriet Jones, Prime Minister, and he's like, "Did you think she looks tired?" And it like ruined her career. Just that one sentence, it felt a lot like that. "Are you okay?" And that could put some misgivings in Nardal and Bill's minds. Maybe, I don't know. There might be actually something majorly wrong with the Doctor, and I think there very well could be. And if there is, I think it'll go all the way back to when he used that device to use some energy from a future regeneration. Maybe what happens is he loses time on this regeneration. It speeds up his cycle or something, and he's going to grow old really fast and regenerate into the next Doctor or something like that, because he's regenerating in the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just going to shorten his lifespan. Whatever it is, I do actually think there is something big time wrong with the Doctor, and I still don't trust Missy at all.
No, me either. In fact, I was a little nervous that she didn't end up back in the box by the end of the episode.
Yeah, I am kind of nervous about that. I think Nardal made a big mistake bringing her with him.
Yes.
Okay, Orphan Black then, and then we're done with reviews. And our last review for this episode is Orphan Black, the Season 5 premiere, titled The Few Who Dare. I loved this episode. Oh my gosh. For Tatiana Maslany might be one of the best actors on television right now. How her career has it completely blown up, I don't know.
Yeah, me either. And for those of you who are big-time Orphan Black fans, you know that this is the final season, so everything should get wrapped up this season.
And they're on pace to do that. Like, this episode was really fast.
Yeah, it was.
And it picked up right where Season 4 left off, which I love. There was no time jump. One thing I didn't love about this episode, though, and we even said it in our watch party, was Helena, when she went down and she got up and she was, like, impaled by that stick right in her baby belly.
No, you don't hurt the babies.
That made me cringe so hard, and I feel like Helena is probably she's a very tragic character, so I feel like her story probably culminates with her death. I feel like that's kind of the direction it's been going from the start. This development kind of confirms that a little bit, I think. But which is awful. She's my favorite clone.
Yeah.
She wins going away as far as like ranking clones for me. And if and when they do kill off Helena, that's going to be tough.
Hopefully it's like at the very, very end, so we get her through the entire season. We weren't getting any more for after the season anyway. So it's not so hard.
If she does die, I hope she gets a heroic death. I think she deserves a heroic death.
She does. Let's talk about Cosima. Cosima's one of my favorite clones because she's all sciencey and stuff. And she gets reunited with Delphine, of course, just to be split apart again. And she gets the cure, which Rachel administers. And I'm still not sure that she should be trusting Rachel to administer that cure. But she's decided to stick around to gather intel in this community for the other clones.
And I understand why she had to have Rachel administer the cure. Because, I mean, doing that to yourself, oh my gosh, that's a level of tough that I don't think many people have ever had.
Sarah Manning can probably do it.
Sarah Clementine in The Walking Dead Telltale game might be able to pull something like that off. But Cosima,
I don't know, she's a scientist.
She's a scientist, and she's super smart, and she's brave. But just that level of toughness, I'm not sure if she has that, especially because she's sick as well. If
she had to, she would have done it, but it would have been really hard. And she was on a time crunch. So it was nice that Rachel could come in and do it for her, but I still don't trust Rachel.
Not at all. Rachel, it seems like she's the head of Neolution now. Like, she's taken over everything. Yeah. And I think as big bads go, Rachel is a very good one. Rachel's a fantastic big bad. She's so hateable. Which takes us to Sarah. Sarah spends a lot of the time in this episode in the forest, and apparently there's some kind of monster. It looks like a humanoid. It looks like a person.
Yeah, it looks humanoid.
But it's like a monster, and it tackles her, and she goes flying. So I don't know if they're doing mutants now in Orphan Black or what they're doing, but that thing is scary as shit, and I'm really excited for it.
But the village is doing a lot of research in like speeding up evolution and stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if this was an oops from that research and it got somehow released instead of put down.
Who knows what's going on there? I hope we find out. I hope that doesn't remain a mystery. I don't think it will.
No,
I think they'll explain that. But then at the end of the episode, you think Sarah's getting away scot-free, and then she gets tranked and captured by Rachel.
Yes.
So, damn. And speaking of being kidnapped, Allison gets kidnapped in this episode, and Donnie just left her.
Donnie,
man.
God, Donnie.
But he was there for Helena when she got hurt.
Yes, which is kind of...
So.
He lets his wife have it, but he's there for Helena. But and it looks like they're taking all of the clones to the village. So although Cosima was going to be there by herself to kind of get intel, it looks like they're all going to end up there.
So Cosima's staying at the village willingly. Sarah is presumably going to end up there as prisoner. Allison will probably end up there as prisoner. Helena is incapacitated because she's been impaled by a stick. So as far as clones go, like main clones go, the only one who hasn't been captured or incapacitated is MK.
Yeah.
And MK is a new clone. But this could give her a chance to shine because she's new and she wasn't in season 4 very much.
Yeah.
It also might give Crystal a chance to shine. I want to see Crystal more.
Oh, Crystal should save the day. That would be amazing. Like, I would love to see her fumble her way through a save and she rescues, like, all of them, and it's like...
It could be like a comedy of errors episode where she just falls ass backwards into success and in a very Crystal way.
Yes.
And then also, I would really like to see Tony come back, the transgender clone. We haven't seen him since season 1, I think it was. It might have been the beginning of season 2, but I think it was season 1. We haven't seen him in forever, so if he came back around and played an integral role in stopping Neolution, I think that would be really great.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I hope the whole season doesn't take place at the village. I think having that small of a setting, I wouldn't care for. I want to see a variety of places. And that's it for our reviews this week. Next up, we have our top 5 of the week. This time we're doing our top 5 favorite Netflix original series. Number 5.
Jessica Jones.
Yes.
So what makes Jessica Jones really amazing is that she's basically like Superman. Like, nothing can hurt her. Like, she is completely unharmable. Like,
she's super strong and
super
invulnerable.
strong, and you can like shoot her, cut her, like nothing breaks her skin. So she's got like 0 vulnerabilities. Except for her mind, and they totally use that. So it was really nice to see a villain that actually made sense against the superhero they were against.
And Kilgrave is freaking terrifying.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Kilgrave could be. He's in the conversation for sure for best Marvel villain, cinematic movies included. He's definitely the best villain for the Netflix originals, for the Marvel television. I think he might be in the conversation for best villain overall as far as live action Marvel stuff. Number 4 is The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Oh my, this show is so damn funny. It's very like absurdist humor, which I really, really like. And it's very lighthearted and fun, and just they deal with like huge problems. Like the show's based around this woman who got kidnapped and became part of a cult unwillingly, and it's how she's dealing with that and overcoming these trials and tribulations in a hilarious way. And number 3 is Black Mirror. The thing we like so much about Black Mirror is it's an anthology series. You can watch it in any order, and that's fantastic, because sometimes you just want to watch an episode of something, you can pick one you like and watch it. And it's really cool. It's a lot like The Twilight Zone, only rather than dealing with monsters and supernatural stuff and that kind of thing, it deals with the dark side of technology and the culture that comes out of the technology. And oh my, it's so great. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, it's fantastic. I definitely recommend it.
Number 2 is Stranger Things. If you haven't seen Stranger Things yet, why? Like, I watched this on accident because it just, when it comes on Netflix, you know how it comes across the top and it tells you, oh, hey, this is on. So I was like, oh, let's give this a try. Totally thought it was just something from the 80s that they put on there. Had no clue until I got to Wynonna Ryder, and I was like, oh wait, shit, this is new. This isn't from the 80s.
It has a total 80s feel, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's full of nostalgia,
And it's
which
just
I love.
a monster mystery, and it's science fiction and technology, and it's just amazing.
The really impressive thing about Stranger Things is it's loaded with child actors, and they're all really good. When you have child actors, chances are they're gonna suck. These kids are awesome.
Yeah, like, usually when you have a story about children, it's still led by adults, and the children are still very much a side story. No, this show is fronted by children, and they freaking nail it.
Yeah. And our number one most favorite series, Netflix original series, is Sense8, which just got canceled. Damn it. But Sense8 is absolutely fantastic. Even though it got canceled, it's still a wonderful show, and there is a movement to try and get it to come back. Even if it got picked up by a different company, picked up by Amazon or Hulu or somebody like that.
Anybody, please, just bring it back.
It's so great, and it's different than everything else out there.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about it. It's these 8 people who are connected, and they can like jump into each other's lives and give each other advice and help each other out. And if one of them's in trouble, one can jump into them and fight for them. And just it deals with so many cultural things, LGBT issues, and racism, and all this different kinds of stuff. And it's something that I think it's important right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that show got canceled, I think is a huge mistake on Netflix's part.
Yeah. I would rather that show continue and they not make 4 new shows that they could make with that budget. Because I understand the budget's probably quite high for that show. But I would rather see that show than have them give us 4 more. Quantity, not so much quality. Give us some quality shows. We don't need more quantity.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that the CEO of Netflix said was he wants to cancel more shows so they can do more shows. And I'm like, no, do good shows.
Yeah.
It was like 3 years ago that if you saw, there's a new Netflix original out, that's probably really good.
Yeah.
Or that's going to be really good. Now they put out so much stuff that if you see a new one come up, you're like, oh, that might be good.
Yeah.
Like, the quality has actually gone down the more they're doing.
Yeah.
I think they need to get back to basics, do fewer things, and do them well. Even if Sense8 takes 2 years to produce, because they got to film in all these locations, and they got to get all the actors and stuff together, even if it takes 2 years to put a season together, that's fine.
Yes.
That's how good the show is.
Yes.
And that was our top 5 of the week, our top 5 favorite Netflix original series, and it's time for my unpopular opinion of the week. It's time for the Walking Dead comic book to end. After Kirkman killed off my favorite character of Andrea and didn't really give her a satisfactory goodbye, I think he's just reaching now, and he's killing off characters and doing shocking things just for the sake of being shocking. It seems like he's not really trying to tell a decent story now. Andrea got bit on the neck by a walker while she was still on her horse. When did walkers learn how to jump? Also, the art in the issue where she died was genuinely terrible. Andrea looked like an orc when she turned into a walker, and it just seems like everybody associated with the Walking Dead comic book is phoning it in. It just needs to end, and I hope it does. Alright, that's it for this week's episode of the GEEKSIDERS show. If you enjoyed it, please let us know by dropping a like on it, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video on social media.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.